Welcome back to Media Week. Well, the InStyle Man of Style Awards was held this week, an event which is critical to the brand and engaging readers and, of course, advertisers as well. It comes as Jackie Frank is enjoying her new role as group publisher. So to find out what's in the pipeline and what these events mean as well for the group of magazines, we're joined by Jackie Frank live in the studio. Jackie, great to have your company on the show again.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a bit about these. Let's start with the Man of Style Awards, which, of course, were held this week. What is the point of these awards?
Well, they're twofold. It's really very much consumer-driven, as well as engaging our advertisers too, to be able to get involved with some of the core pillars of the magazine. And it was actually last night, and we celebrated, men who have been talking about for the last 12 months, who've made a difference, who've, sort of acted with integrity, who've broken through, been top of their fields.
Interesting having men's style awards, because obviously InStyle is obviously aimed at a female sort of audience. So what's behind that?
Well, every single month we have a Man of Style in the magazine, so it's just bringing that to life.
Okay, so tell us a bit about some of the winners of the InStyle Man Awards. We've got some vision there from the red carpet.
Well, we had 8 different men, and the awards are done in association with Audi, and Audi had the Face of the Future, which was the wonderful Conrad Saul. He's gone for 3 ARI awards. The man, young guy from Brisbane, and he is chopping the charts, he's chopping the charts. Other people like David Pocock, who's been a real strong advocate for marriage equality, his football prowess is incredible, but he sort of believes that he can use that celebrity that he has as an athlete to be able to make change. Then there's somebody like Paul West, who is from River Cottage, Australia, and his sustainability and creating the relationship with the farming community, which is so important. Liam Hemsworth, who is really excited, he said, talked to us about, he's in The Dressmaker, and it's the first time he's going to come back, big film, and be able to do it in the Australian accent. So he won't have to put an accent on, he can talk in his mother tongue. I mean, it's just fabulous. People like Wayne Blair, who've really cut through in Hollywood. He had the Sapphires. Incredible men doing incredible things. And, of course, Andrew Upton, who, after 8 years, is stepping down from Sydney Theatre Company, who has put our theatre not only locally but on the world stage, and they're moving to the US. It's our loss, which is such a shame, but it's just incredible. They really are acting to be able to cut through and do something with the integrity of what they do.
So in terms of the event, it's both an advertiser and a reader event, right, in terms of the attractability of it?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, Audi's been a sponsor actually of Women of Style, and this was their first time that they were the sponsor of Man of Style, and again, it's it's a really great way to have that integrity about supporting industries and making it come to life. So from magazine to online to event, it's a whole 360.
Jackie, we've spoke to you a lot in the past about Marie Claire, obviously because of your role there, but just tell us a bit about the InStyle offering and the difference between the two, because they're both obviously global brands.
They're both global brands, but they both have a very different point of USP, if you want to call it. So InStyle is all through the prism of celebrity, whereas Marie Claire isn't at all about celebrity. It's about ordinary people and extraordinary stories. So, they're very similar in terms of they're both fashion and beauty focused, but they have a very different prism in which it's executed.
And I know we've got the cover of the latest magazine, and there it is there. But what are some of the most sort of significant things InStyle's doing with regard to creating extra revenue streams, which is so key, obviously, for the magazine industry?
We're all looking for extra revenue streams, and obviously digital is one of the main things, but we've got a whole strategy at Pacific Magazines, which is Somo Voco. You've probably heard about that before. Social media, mobile optimization, video, and obviously e-commerce. So all those pillars are being used across all our brands.
And your first event as publisher was obviously the Women of Style Awards, where you introduced the new editor, Emily Taylor, of Marie Claire. Are there any sort of changes that have come into the magazine since then? Any point of difference?
Absolutely. Emily's got a pedigree in beauty like no other, and and she, had to get her feet under the ground, and now you'll see all these changes starting to happen. In fact, we were just in New York last week, and we were meeting with Time and explaining to them what her vision is. And it's a really exciting time to have Emily on board. She's come back from London, and she's got a strong digital background as well. And it's about working in being where the consumer is, and talking to them on the different platforms in the way that they want. Because we are very much about consumer, we're very much about passion points.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, when you started as editor, how much has that role changed in sort of the years since?
Enormously. Absolutely enormously. Editors now have to have multiple hats. And, what I started off, the job I had, is probably this much of what the total job is today. It's all things to all people. And
now you get to go over all the magazines.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I guess, innovation, because stories, back in the day, I guess, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have people getting those stories immediately, so you could have the features in your magazines quite easily. How do you sort of innovate across the board?
Yeah, but the thing that hasn't changed, you say about you started with stories.
Yep.
That's actually still the same premise today as it was back then. People want to engage with good stories, good content. We are content powerhouses, and that's what we know to do really, really well. The thing that's changed is the platform and the immediacy and the timing and things like that.
How do you look after different audiences? Do you have different audiences that are on Instagram and Twitter than to your audiences on the print magazine?
Oh, God, absolutely. The commonality is that people identify and engage with the brand.
Right.
And it's different segments that engage on different mediums, just as you said. So it seems to be a bit of a younger audience on digital than it is in the magazine. And then it also is different again between Instagram, between Twitter. They all serve different purposes, and it's really important that you address those.
Bauer Media has been making portals for its digital audiences, like the To Love section. Is that a good strategy in your view? I mean, and are you guys doing anything similar?
Well, I'm not really here to comment on what Bauer's strategy is. I'll leave that to them. That's not for me to be judge and juror. What I do know is at Pacific Magazines, we are very much consumer focused. We're very much about passion points. And some of those passion points sometimes become pain points. But it's about the consumer, and it's about being led by the consumer, and also giving people what they want before they know that they need it. That hasn't changed at all.
In terms of, I guess, challenges, and I know this is a common question, but in the publishing industry, in this sort of environment, what are the challenges you face? Because I guess you're getting more and more across the digital side with Instagram and Twitter, which used to be sort of the key challenge. Is that still a big challenge? What are you watching going forward?
I think the challenge is the rate at which technology is changing. It's like a revolution. We've never had such great change, and it's about having people that can be agile, that can adapt, that can change, that can move. So it used to be a certain cycle that we used to work in. Now people are not only working on their print deadlines, but they're working on the instant deadline of the whole digital world. So it's constant. It's 24/7, and it's about being agile, and it's about being able to respond. And we're getting data. The data, it's instant data now, and which is really exciting. I don't actually see it as a negative. I see it as a positive, because we're able to move as soon as we see things, and we track things, and we watch things. And and also that B2B, and there's so many opportunities. Opportunities,
yes, but is it tough sometimes to maintain the integrity of the brand with all that? Is that a balance?
No, it's not tough to maintain the integrity at all. The key thing is to keep the consumer as your number one focus. And things like, it's actually more exciting, like we've got the parcel, we've launched the parcel, and it means that we can now connect our advertisers with our readers in a really engaged way. Whereas they used to just buy the magazine, they're willing to pay double the amount to have the magazine and have the parcel and have that. It's all happy days. It just means a lot more work, and it just means you've got to be more innovative and more creative.
And that work might just get more next year, because obviously the Olympics is taking place next year, and you've got a lot of health titles under you now.
Oh, it's such an exciting time to be part of the health titles. Actually, on the 27th of October, we have the ISWIS Awards, I Support Women in Sport, that we're doing with Channel 7. It's kind of the beginning of this kind of road to Rio. And I've got men's health, women's health, prevention, and bike, and they're all involved very heavily with Seven, with the Olympics, and it's exciting. It's really exciting, and I think that women punch above their weight when it comes to medal tally. We kind of hold that up a little bit, and so it's wonderful to be able to support them and to give them a platform, both digitally and print and TV.
Yeah, busy times for you, Jackie, ahead. Thanks for joining us, Jackie Frank there. All right, quickly before we go, we'll take a quick look at the ratings for week 41, kicking it off with free to air, and of course no surprises there to see in the top spot, the Rugby League Grand Final, and then the Grand Final presentation and Grand Final entertainment, taking up those top 3 spots for Channel 9. 9 News Sunday coming in the 4th spot, and 800 Words for 7 in the 5th spot. Just turning the page now and looking at the rest of the top 10 there. ABC's Australian Story, 7 News and The Block also making it into that list. Quickly looking at subscription television now and the Rugby World Cup. Once again, not a big surprise to see that come in as number 1 and 2 there. And A Place to Call Home, the new series, which of course moved to Foxtel, coming in at number 3 spot. Turning the page, the rest of the top 10 there. And there you have it, Supercars and the V8 Supercars taking in for the 9th and 10th spot, I should say, there as well. Well, that does wrap up Media Week for this week. From the team here, thanks for your company.